Hello, I'm Antonia and this is Noel and we are from Boxtail Soup Theatre Company and we are back in our studio. I believe last time we spoke to you we were in Edinburgh in our lovely flat in the living room, and it was probably, I was trying to work this out actually, we reckon it was about a week or so into the Fringe.
I think it was the 8th of August.
Right, well there you go, it was the 8th of August. That still doesn't clarify that for me because dates just go all weird
Well, we
there,
started
but I think it was about a week.
We did our first
Week
show
and a
on the
bit.
30th of July.
Oh, okay.
So we would have been
So
a
just
few
over,
shows.
yeah.
A few shows in.
And so we finished the Fringe this year without injury, which was delightful and very pleasing for me particularly. And we had a fantastic time. We were thrilled with, I think when we spoke to you before, we were saying the show was going really well. We were pleased. We were really pleased with the audience reaction. We were pleased with, we had some nice reviews, critics' reviews. But to be honest, for me, certainly anyway, it's the audience that the audience's opinion that I care about the most, because they're the ones who are going to hopefully tell people to come and see more of the shows. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. It was nice to have done the preview because obviously that gave us an opportunity to see what the reaction was like to the story in general and to the way that we'd interpreted it and to the set and to the puppets and all that kind of thing. But there was still a little bit of nervousness because we then obviously had to cut it for the Fringe.
So I think we spoke about that in
the
last
I think we did,
one.
yeah.
So at the risk of our repeating ourselves.
Sure.
But yes.
So, but my point being really that just that we were still a little bit nervous about how people would react to it. And as we said before, I think the reaction was fantastic. I think at that point when we recorded that vlog, the shows had started to fill up.
Well, they definitely did, because we did the previews, one show, and then it was sold out from then on.
But I don't think we necessarily would have guessed that it then would have continued to sell out for every single show. And
I think I remember we had an enforced, well, as we said to you before, we had one random day off because of the storm, but then we also, midway, there's a day off for the venue, so we have to take a day off then anyway, which I think was on the 13th of August. And at that point, I showed Noel, and in fact, I took a screenshot of it. Maybe we'll put it up now.
Yeah.
Because the colour coding, by the way, blue is available, and then red means that there's no allocation remaining to book. So technically, it's sold out. There are always a few that are released on the day, but at that point, I think it was 5 in advance.
Which is
was sold out.
Which is just incredible. You know, in the past when we've had sold out shows, it's been a day or maybe 2 days.
At the most. I feel like it's only ever really been the day before.
Yeah.
So, and then you're sort of thinking, oh, are we going to get them?
To look ahead at the next week of shows and for all of them to be sold out was just amazing.
It was quite extraordinary. It was a bit overwhelming in a way. We sort of didn't quite know what to do with ourselves.
Well, quite, yeah.
Because it wasn't then the normal routine, which our normal routine being going and doing our paperless flyering on the mile with our poster boards. And in fact, we used them during the first weekend and the first sort of few days, and then we didn't have to go out with them again, which was very strange and sort of, I don't know, you almost felt a bit, just slightly wonky, I suppose, because it was just completely different.
Well, you're so used to, for anybody who's been to the Fringe, you'll know, and for anybody who's watched any of the stuff that we've done about it. There are thousands of shows on. This year there are nearly 4,000 shows to choose from at the Fringe, and that doesn't take into account the International Festival, book festival events, film festival events, and so on. For people to pick your show out and for them to choose to come and see you is always an amazing thing. Now, obviously, it's a cumulative effect, but to be filling our venue, we feel very fortunate. We're very grateful to everybody who came to see the show, and it is, like I say, it's a cumulative thing because it's a combination of the title. I think people obviously like the title and wanted to come and see the show because it was 1984, and of people who had seen our work before and basically trusted us to do a good job, whatever it was that we were bringing to the festival.
Yeah, I mean, this is our 12th Fringe, so in that sense, I feel like it's not like we haven't put the work in.
Exactly, yeah. So the number of people who come up to you after the show and say, oh, we saw this show, or we saw that show, or oh, we always come back and see you, and that makes a massive difference.
Yeah, that was, I mean, it's so when we see that, and in the audience comments, which we had so many lovely audience reviews on the Fringe website and via Instagram and various other ones, and when I collated them together after the festival, one of the main things was seeing just how many people had said, "Oh, we've been coming to your show since whatever year," or and then the new ones who are, "Oh, we came last year, and so we wanted to come again," and that is just the most gratifying thing, because it means that we are genuinely now building an audience that is our audience, some people who want to come and see specifically what we're doing next, which is what we always aimed for and hoped that at some point we might start to achieve. So it's
it's just amazing.
Yeah.
It really is amazing. And you feel then a sense of responsibility, because you know, you don't want to let those people down then. If they're trusting you to come and see whatever it is that you put on, then it's nice.
And I think
it
that's
sort of
where
pushes you to
the nerves come from more even now. For me, certainly, I don't know about you, but it's actually that I don't want to let people down. You know, people who've come to see us and always said they're so reliable. We always love coming to see them, and you think, gosh, I really hope we can still be reliable. And I think
as inventive or as imaginative.
Yeah. There was a lady, in fact, I think it was a lady, I can't remember, but somebody who had written a lovely review online, and she'd written something about how it's like we're walking on a high wire, and every year she sort of expects that we could potentially fall off it. And I got to that point in the review and thought, oh no, she's going to say, and this year they fell off. But in fact, she didn't. She went on to say this year they're still, you know, they've maintained it and whatever. But it sort of encapsulated my fear that one day we would, fall off the high wire.
Yeah.
But
so it was an amazing month. It was an amazing experience, and to such a privilege to come in every day and be able to do that show. It's always, I mean, it's a privilege to go and do a run like that anyway,
yes.
and to have a run of how many performances? 20?
Well, it was 25 in the end because of the storm. But
was it only 25? I thought there
think
were
so.
more than that with the previews. It's to do a run of
I
that
think it
length,
should have been
you know,
26 and then it's 25. But
is fantastic anyway. To come in and do it to a full house every day was just brilliant, absolutely fantastic. And then the reactions from audiences were lovely. You know, people really seemed to, I keep saying enjoy the show, and obviously it's a bit of a dark story, so I'm never quite sure, but yeah, people really seem to enjoy the show, and I couldn't be happier really with how the
we
festival
were
went.
really, really pleased. So that was lovely. I think maybe in particularly after the slightly strange year that we had last year, it was really lovely to come back and have a strong festival.
Absolutely.
So that was that really. We've got a slightly strange autumn this year. We're not doing our usual UK tour. This year we're doing overseas work. And so we're in the studio at the moment because we're remaking or slightly altering certain things to make sure that they can get on a plane easily. But we'll tell you about those trips as and when they
as
happen.
we do them.
Yeah.
But we're doing a lot of different shows as well. We're switching things around.
A logistical nightmare.
Got to try and keep things clear in our minds.
Yeah. But nonetheless, it's all fun, I hope.
Yeah, for anybody who didn't come to the festival, 1984 will go on tour, and that will tour in spring of next year, 2026.
Yeah.
Some of those dates, some of them are already on sale.
Yes, I think there's Norwich Playhouse is on sale, the Theatre Chipping Norton is on sale, and there is one more, I feel like, that popped up. Oh, Waterside on sale. Yeah. Those three are currently on sale. We're adding dates regularly, so do keep an eye on the website for those.
Yeah, it's shaping up very nicely.
And once we've got everything up, we'll share the whole thing and explain where we're going. Great. I think that's probably it for now.
Yeah, otherwise we need to get back to work, figuring out our calendar and making all sorts of bits and pieces
Yes.
for what's coming up.
So we'll see you next time.